amines. We will be starting with aromatic amines. So today's lecture will be on aromatic amines. So what are aromatic amines? They're nothing but an amino group which is attached to your benzene ring. When one of your hydrogen in your benzene ring gets replaced by an amino group, then it becomes an aromatic amine. Some of the examples of the basic compound, the parent compound in this series of compounds is known as your aniline. The parent compound in this is known as aniline. So that's an primary aromatic amine. Then your N,N-dimethylamine is an example of tertiary amine where there are both the hydrogens are replaced by your methyl group, and N-methylamine aniline is replaced example of your secondary amine. Some example of substituted are methyl aniline, which is also known as toluidine, which is common name is toluidine. When a methyl group is present at the ring along with your amino group, it is known as toluidine. Okay, toluidine means toluene, that is CH3 with a methyl and an amino group. That's why it is called toluidine. So these are the aromatic amines. So some of the examples of ammonia which are present in our body which have biological activity: dopamine, okay, that is phenyl dihydroxyphenyl ethylamine, okay, that is a neurotransmitter. Then your epinephrine, it is an hormone, okay, adrenaline. So these are hormones which are tryptophan, it's an amino acid which contains an amino group. Piperazine, amino group containing nicotinic acid, which is an vitamin. Niacin, it's a vitamin. Pyridoxine, it is vitamin B6. This all contains anhistamine, which dilates your blood vessel, all causes allergy. So these are all your groups which contains amino group within them. So these are some of the biologically active groups containing amino groups. So like as mentioned, neurotransmitter dopamine, bioregulators that epinephrine, norepinephrine, vitamins like niacin, vitamin B6, alkaloids like nicotine, morphine, cocaine, and amino acids like tryptophan, histidine and all, they contain amino groups, okay, in their structure. Now let us go for the structure and classification of amines. So amines can be classified as you have studied earlier also. It can be classified as primary, secondary, tertiary amines. Amines in which there are 1, 2 or 3 alkyl or aryl groups substituted to it. According to that, they are known as primary, secondary, tertiary. As examples, methylamine is an example of primary amine, dimethylamine is an example of your secondary amine, and triethylamine is an example of your tertiary amine. This is an classification, direct classification. Anilines, yeah, in case of aniline there is secondary and tertiary amine, okay, because in case of aniline is an example of primary amine, then aniline is an example of your secondary amine, and when everything is replaced, then it is known as your tertiary amine. Okay, so amines can be further divided according to the aliphatic, aromatic and heterocyclic. So what is this aliphatic? When your amine group in the nitrogen is bonded to an alkyl group. When it is attached to an alkyl group, it is known as your aliphatic amine. Examples, methylamine. And when an amine is in the nitrogen is bonded to an one or more aryl group. Okay, aryl means phenyl, benzyl or any such type of group, any containing an ring structure, okay, aromatic ring structure, then it is known as aromatic amine. So these are some of the examples: aniline, that is primary amine, N,N-dimethyl and benzylidine dimethyl aniline amine. So these are the examples of your primary, secondary and tertiary. According to the the third example is an example of an aliphatic amine, because the nitrogen is not directly attached to the ring. It is attached by an CH2, that is an aliphatic amine. It is attached to an alkyl group, which is in turn attached to an benzene. So there is no direct attachment with an array. So that's an example of an aliphatic amine. Next is your heterocyclic amine. What are heterocyclic amines? When the nitrogen atom is present within the ring. It is one of the atom in the ring. So it is included within the ring. So examples of heterocyclic aliphatic amines are pyrrolidine and piperidine. And heterocyclic aromatic amine means so these are saturated and unsaturated. Pyrrolidine is an example of saturated heterocyclic amine, and pyrrole and pyridine is an example of unsaturated heterocyclic amines. Okay, where the heterocycle nitrogen is present within the ring. It is one of the atom in the ring. Pyrrolidine and piperidine, they are example of saturated, and pyrrole and pyridine is an example of unsaturated heterocyclic amine. So these are the basic classification of your amines. These are the basic classification of your amines. Now let's go for the nomenclature. Since we know there are three types, now let's go for your nomenclature. So aliphatic amines, as you might know, the E in your alkane is replaced by your amine. So in case of aliphatic amine, your E is replaced by your amine. So let's take an example of propane amine, 2-propane amine. So it is, the basic is 2-propane. Okay, 2-methylpropane. So the amino group is at the second position. That's why it is known as 2-propane, because there are 3 carbon atom in the ring. So the basic alkane is your propane, and the position of your amine group, that is at the second position. That's why it is called 2-propane. Next example, if you say, is 1-phenyl ethanamine. So ethane is your basic group, and your ethyl group which is present. Okay, so that is an example of your next. Other example, diamine. So depending upon the position, if there are 2 amino groups, at which position? There are 6 hydrogen carbon atom in this particular structures, and the 2 amino groups are at the first and the 6th position. That's why they are known as 1,6. First you have to name at which position the amines are, followed by hexane, and since there are 2 amino groups, they are known as hexane diamine. So this is how you try to do the nomenclature of your aliphatic amines. Now let's go for your aromatic amines. So what is the basic amino acid? Your basic amino acid is your aniline. So every compound will be named after aniline. As in case of your aromatic acid, it is benzoic acid. In this case, it is aniline. Aniline is your common name, and depending upon the substitution in the ring, aromatic ring, they will be given. So let us take first example, that is nitroaniline, 4-nitroaniline or para-nitroaniline. Why? Because the nitro group is at the 4th position in comparison to your amino group. Okay, so amino group will always be given the first priority in the naming, because it is your trivial name. Okay, so next example is 4-methyl-aniline, that is para-toluidine. And if there is a methoxy group in the ring, then it is called as, see, methoxy group in a benzene ring is known as anisole. So depending upon the position of your methoxy group in your benzene ring in comparison with your amino group, if it is at 3 position, it is called as meta-anisidine. If it is at 4th position, it is called para-anisidine, and if it is at 2 position, it is called ortho-anisidine. So remember these common names. So whatever is written below is the common name. So if there is a methyl group at the 4th position, so you should know that it is para-toluidine. Okay, so please remember these common names. These common names are usually used in your day-to-day studies. So you have to remember, if they say para-toluidine, means you should know there is an methyl group at the para position along with an amino group. Okay, then if it is anisidine, if it is an ortho or para-anisidine, you should know that it will be added at the 3rd or the 4th position of your amino group in the benzene ring. So this is the nomenclature. Please remember these names. These are very important to be remembered. So what does this primary, So in case of aniline is an example of primary amine. Then N-methyl benzylamine is an example of your tertiary secondary amine. And N-dimethyl benzenamine, it is an example of your tertiary amine. So let us take an example of your hydroxychloroquine. So what all things are there in this thing? Which all types of amines are there? Okay, you can see there are 3 amino groups, nitrogen. One is your heterocyclic, which is attached to the ring, which is the part of your quinoline ring. Next is, which is attached to the ring, is your, you got, and if you see in this particular nitrogen, because there are two groups attached, it is an example of your secondary amine. And the terminal amine, where there are 3 alkyl groups attached to it, is an example of your tertiary amine. So from this particular structure, you'll come to know which type of amine, which type of amine, and this is very much important during your SAR. This is very much important to your SAR, that is structural activity relations. What type of nitrogen is present? It has got a very important role in the pharmacokinetic or your biology. It plays a very important role in your biological activity of the compound. So what type of amino group is present in your ring or on the side chain, it also determines the activity. So let us take an example. Okay, so if there is an amino group and some other group along with that, which has to be given priority, because there is a rule of priority when you are writing an IUPAC name. There is always a rule of priority which will have lower order of precedence and which will have a higher order of precedence. So which will be named first when given the trivial name, and which will come later. So if you consider an alcohol and an amino group, so your basic name of the compound will be alcohol. Alcohol will be given the first priority, which will be added along with our name of the compound. Like if you see this particular compound, 2-amino-ethanol. So ethane all, because alcohol is given the first priority, so it gets attached to the name, and your amino group, it is written before that. So in case of alcohol and amino group, alcohol is given the first priority and your amino is given the second priority. Similarly, when if you say the example of your amino acid and an carboxylic acid, carboxylic acid is given more priority than that of your amino group. So these are very important things to be remembered whenever you are writing the name of the compound, which has to be given more priority. This is known as priority. So you know that amino groups is given the least priority, whereas your alcohol and your carboxylic acid groups are given more priority in your nomenclature. It's given more priority in your nomenclature. Okay, please recollect these things, very important. So there are something called as quaternary ammonium compounds. They are known as quaternary ammonium, where the lone pair of electron which is present in your amino group, they form a bond with another compound like hydrogen chloride and acids and all. Okay, methyl chloride or alkyl halides and all. So they are known as quaternary ammonium salt, which forms a quaternary bond where the lone pair of electrons are involved in your bond formation. And the examples are, they are basically the salts of the corresponding amine. So let us take an example, that tetramethyl ammonium chloride. So they are known as ammonium chloride, depending. So if it is an ammonia group, it is known as ammonium group. If it is an piperidine, so the basic ring over here is piperidine. So the example is 1-ethyl 1-methyl piperidinium chloride, because there is a chloride and a methyl chloride attached to it. Yeah? So that is how you try to name this compound. Now the next example is 1-ethyl pyridinium chloride. 1-ethyl pyridinium chloride. Why it is? The basic ring is pyridine, so that is pyridinium. What is attached to that? Which position? First position, where the nitrogen is attached, it has got a ethyl which is attached to the ring, and it forms a chloride form. So that's why it is known as 1-ethyl. So your pyridine is anything is written by edenium. Okay, so it is written by enium chloride or whatever the salt it is. If it is a sulfate song, it is a pyridinium sulfate. Such type of nomenclature it's given for this particular type of compound, where there are 4 different groups bonded to your nitrogen atom. So they are known as quaternary ammonium salts. They are known as quaternary ammonium salts. Okay, see, if you see ammonium, IEM, ammonia, A is replaced by IUM along with the uh, uh, chloride or sulfate, whatever it is forming this thing, quaternary salt which is formed. So you have to give the naming such a way. Please remember all these things. Nomenclatures are very important. And as we know that nitrogen also has got some electronegativity. There is a difference between 0.9, the electronegativity difference between your nitrogen and your hydrogen, which is attached in case of ammonia or any anilines. So there is some difference, and more and there is also because of this they form weaker hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bonds are formed between your adjacent and because of your dipole moment which is present in your molecule. So this hydrogen, so there is a partial charge. So if you see, nitrogen being more electronegative will have more electron towards itself, and the hydrogen which is less electronegative compared to that of your nitrogen will have partial negative positive charge. So this is how it will look. Let us take an example. Let us take ammonia, nitrogen. So there are 3. So what happens? This nitrogen is more electronegative than your oxygen, than your hydrogen. This has got 3 electronegative, this is 2. So their electrons will be pulled towards your nitrogen. That's the reason why nitrogen will have a partial negative charge and your hydrogen will have a partial. So these are known as polar bonds. These are known as polar bonds. Okay, these are known as partial polar bonds. And because of this, when there is neither ammonia group, any type of ammonia group which is there, so since this has got a partial positive negative charge, so this has got a negative positive charge. So what happens? This will form a bond with the adjacent nitrogen, because nitrogen is positive, the hydrogen is positively charged and nitrogen is negative. So this will form a network, and because of this network, hydrogen intermolecular hydrogen bonding, these compounds will have higher melting point and boiling point. Okay, because of this there will be an higher boiling point, because as the electronegativity increases, the intermolecular forces increases, the hydrogen bonding increases, and this increases your boiling point of your particular compound. This increases the boiling point of, that's why your amino groups have got an higher boiling point. Now comes the most important part, that is basicity. Why these anilines are basic? Why these anilines are called basic? What are basic bases? Base is a species which donates lone pair of electron to protons, okay, or hydrogen nucleus. Okay, what is a base? Which donates a lone pair of electrons to a proton. So in case of aniline, you got your nitrogen has got a lone pair of electron which can it donate to your proton to form an anilinium salt. Okay. Now what is a conjugate acid? So whatever species that is formed by accepting of your proton from the environment. So aniline, when it takes away proton, so what we get on the other side is known as its conjugate acid. It's known as the conjugate acid. Well, we're just showing you what is a conjugate acid. What is a conjugate acid? So this is, so you got an aniline. So this is a base with a lone pair of electron. This is acts as a base, and this is an, let us take this is an proton. We did. So when they react, this will lead to a formation of NH 3 plus, and this is known as your conjugate base. So whatever is formed by addition of proton to this particular base, it is known as its conjugated acid. It is known as its corresponding conjugated acids. And the best way to quantify the basicity of your amine is to examine the pK of the conjugated acid. So you are trying to compare with the pK of the conjugated acid that is formed. So whenever you try to find the basicity of the amine, and if you know the pK of the conjugated acid which is formed, you can determine the strength of the basicity of the corresponding amine. Okay, so if you know the pK of the conjugated acid that is formed, then you can predict the basicity. And what is that thing? So higher the pK of the conjugated acid, stronger will be the base. So remember, higher the pK of the conjugated acid, think it properly, which is on the product side. So reverse that is being seen. So in case of acids, it is pK of the acid, not of conjugated acid. So whenever you, so it becomes exactly reverse. So as the pK of the conjugated acid increases, your basicity increases. Your pKH increases, and it is also represented by pKAH. It is also represented by pKAH. Why? Because H, because it is an protonated which accepts a proton from your system. So that's why it is known as, it is abbreviated as pKAH. Okay, to differentiate it between your acid and your base. So your basicity of your acid amine depends upon the pK of the conjugated base which is present. So higher the pK of the conjugated acid, stronger will be the base. But in case of acids, lower the pK, stronger the acid. So this is an inverse relations between the two. So please recollect this. Okay. So what happens in basicity? So in aqueous solution, when you put amines, so it will form a particular methonium hydroxide. Okay, so this is how they, so normal equation is what is written over here. The first equation is your normal equation in which we write. So there is an base, you read with an acid to form an corresponding ammonium hydroxide. Okay, this is your common way to represent your neutralization reaction. Okay, so you got an amine. Let us put RNH2 rather than methyl. Let us put RNH2 reacts with water to form the RNH2 3 plus and OH minus. So this forms an conjugated acid. So what does the definition say? It depends upon the concentration of your conjugated acid that is formed. So you reverse the reaction. Okay, you write CaRNH3 plus reacts with water to give your corresponding RCH3NH2 and your protonated acid. So this is what. So exactly reverse you have to write. Exactly reverse you have to write. So and then you put the equation of pK. K is the concentration of your product, that is RNH2 plus hydronium ion divided by conjugated base, that is NH3 plus water. So this is the, so when you Ka value, so when you reverse it, so higher the value of the pK, so higher will be the acidity of basicity of your corresponding amines. Higher will be the base. So you have to exactly reverse the equation, because your basicity, They depends upon the ionization constant of your conjugated acid. Depends upon the ionization of your conjugated acid. Very important concept to be remembered. So you have to exactly reverse the equation to write your dissociation constant equation. Okay. So higher the pK of the conjugated acid, stronger will be your basicity. Okay. Stronger will be your basicity of your corresponding amine. So here we have taken an example of your methyl amine, and this is the pK. So what is pK? It is negative logarithm of your Ka value. It is a negative logarithm of your Ka value. Okay. So using the value, we can compare the acidity of amines and its conjugated with other acids. So amine, your acetic acid is 4.76, and that of your corresponding conjugated acid is 10 points. So your corresponding conjugate acid, which is less basic than that, less acidic than that of your corresponding acid with which it is reacting, amine. So whatever conjugate amine is formed, it will be less acidic than the acid which is used in your formation of your reaction. Okay, this is the pK of the value from this particular equation. We will come to know which is a strong acid. So from that you come to know that your methylammonium is a strong, is an basic compound. So these are some of the examples with the pK where it is given. So aniline has got a pK of around 4.63. When you add a methyl group in the ring, the pK increases. That means the compound is more basic. As you add chlorine, the basicity decreases, and nitroaniline, the basicity further decreases. In case of aromatic heterocyclic aromatic amines, pyridine has got an pK value of 5.25, and imidazole has got an higher pK value. That means that imidazole is more basic than that of your pyridine, because there are two nitrogen associated and there is a resonance stabilization of your this thing that increases the electron density in your nitrogen. That's why they are more basic than that of your pyridine. Now let's do some comparative study and let's talk more about the factors affecting the basicity of your aromatic amines. So let's compare it with little bit with your aliphatic amines to understand it much better. So aryl amines. So what are aryl amines? Aryl group means and benzene attached to an amino group. Aryl amines are basic due to the presence of lone pair of electrons on the net. As I mentioned, the basicity of amines is because of the lone pair of electron which is present in your nitrogen atom. So basicity depends, first and foremost thing, that the basicity depends on the presence of your lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen. Now let us see both the things. Your aliphatic amines and aromatic amine contains lone pair of electrons in your nitrogen atom. Similarly, as you see in case of ethylamine, the lone pair of electron is localized on the nitrogen atom itself. It does not get distributed. But if you see in case of aromatic amines, the lone pair of electron get delocalized on the benzene ring. Yes. So that lone pair comes in conjugation with your benzene ring and it gets delocalized. So it gets your lone pair of electron gets utilized in stabilization of your benzene ring. Because this lone pair is involved in the delocalization with the benzene, this lone pair is not easily available for your basicity. This is not easily available to donate the lone pair. That's why this decreases the it decreases the basicity of your aromatic amine. That's the reason, that's the first reason why your aromatic amines are less basic than your aliphatic amine. That's the reason why your ethylamine is more basic than your any aromatic amine. As you know, both aromatic amines reacts with your HCl or salts to form its corresponding salts. That's why it is basic. Aromatic amines are Lewis based because they can donate, as per the Lewis based definition. Aromatic amines also can donate the lone pair, and as per the Bronsted definition, they can accept a hydrogen to form a corresponding. So this is all the basicity about your amine. This is about the basicity of your amines. Now let's go into the properties. So as I mentioned, the lone pair of electrons in case of your aniline, the nitrogen present in the aniline comes in conjugation with your aromatic ring, comes in conjugation with your aromatic. So it gets a positive charge on the amino group. Okay, they get a positive charge on the amino group. So when this positive charge comes on the amino group, they cannot form and they cannot donate the lone pair of electrons. That's why they are less basic because, or weaker base, because this lone pair of electron and they come into conjugation with your aromatic ring, as you see. So the lone pair is more in the ring rather than on your nitrogen. That decreases your electron density on your nitrogen atom, and that's why they are weaker bases compared to that of your alkyl. So what is the next reason? And as I said, your hybridization also plays an important role on your characteristic whether on an acid. Now in case of amine, what happens? As the S character increases in the hybridization, as the S character increases in your hybridization, their electronegativity increases. The electronegativity increases and the electron withdrawing property increases. Since your amino group NH2 group is attached to sp2 hybridized carbon in an aromatic amine, so there will be more inductive effect. There will be more negative inductive effect that will reduce the electron density in your nitrogen, thus making it less basic. Whereas in case of your aliphatic amines, it is attached to your sp3 hybridized carbon. In case of sp3 hybridized carbon, the S character is only 25%. Whereas in case of sp2 hybridized carbon atom, the S character is 33.3. So there is an increase in S characters in case of sp2. That's the reason why the electrons, the amino group in the aromatic amines has an negative inductive effect, that is an electron withdrawing negative inductive effect that reduces the electron density in the nitrogen atom and makes it less basic than that of your aliphatic amines. Now let us see the effect of the substituents. Let us see the effect of your substituents on the basicity of your amines. So if there is an electron releasing group like alkyl group, they increases the basicity of why? Because they will increase the electron density in the ring, which in turn will give the electrons to the nitrogen which is directly attacked and thus increases the basicity. And if there is an electron withdrawing group such as halogens, nitro, carbonyl group, they reduce the electron density in the ring. So in turn, which will affect the amino group. So the amino group will donate their electrons and thus they will be less basic due to the negative inductive effect and the resonance. So if the electron withdrawing group is at the para position, as in case of your this thing, as you studied in aromatic acids. So if there is an electron withdrawing group at the para position, then the basicity in compared to that of your meta position, because meta position does not, only inductive effect will be more. Whereas if there is an ortho para position, the resonance effect will be more prominent. That's why if there is an electron withdrawing group at an ortho or a para position, the basicity is less compared to that of your amino group if any electron withdrawing groups at the meta position, because in meta position only your inductive effect plays an important role, whereas in case of ortho para position, both your inductive as well as your resonance effect plays an important role, and that decreases the basicity of your corresponding amines. That decreases the basicity of your corresponding amine. Okay, so this is what you have to remember very carefully. So let us see the factors once again. So the basicity of amine is, as I explained, it is due to the electron donating property of your amines, lone pair donating properties of your amines. In aromatic amines, the lone pair is in conjugation delocalized with your aromatic ring. Yes. So whereas in case of aliphatic amine, this does not happen and the lone pair is readily available. That is why they are more basic than your aromatic amine. In case of aromatic amine, the amino groups are in resonance with the aromatic ring. Okay, the aromatic group are which is absent in case of which makes it less available for the form getting protonated. Next thing is that order of the basicity is reverse as per the acidity. So basicity is exactly reverse about the acidity. So in case of acidity, what is it? If the pK is less, the acid is more strong. Whereas in case of bases, if the pK is more, then your compound will be more basic. Okay, the compound will be more basic. So there is a reverse relationship between your acidity and your base. So whichever substitution will increase the acidity in one compound, if the same substitution is present in your basic compound, it will decrease the basicity. So this is how you try to relate. Okay, so there is an exact reverse relationship between the acidity and basicity. Moreover, as I said, the electronegativity of sp2 carbon is greater than that of sp3 carbon which is attached to your nitrogen group. As the S character increases, the lone pair in the nitrogen comes nearer to the nucleus and they act as a weaker base. So as the S character increases, the electronegativity increases and this decreases the electron density in your nitrogen and decreases the basicity of your amines. So resonance stabilization, as we explained, because resonance stabilization also is so when the nitrogen is in conjugation with any pi bond. So when the lone pair of are conjugated with pi bonds, if you see pi bonds means if the nitrogen is associated with the conjugated system, then there is a delocalization of electron and this resonance stabilized, any compound which is resonance stabilized decreases the basicity. If you see in case of three examples that I have shown, in case of secondary amine, there are two benzene ring with which the nitrogen lone pair gets delocalized. That's why it is got less basicity. Its pK is low. Aniline only one. That's why its pK is around. Whereas in case of cyclohexylamine, the pKh is around 11. It is the most basic amine because there is no pi electrons which are present through with which it can conjugate. That's why cyclohexylamine is more basic than aniline and your diphenylaniline. So these things have to be because these questions can be coming in your 2 marks questions to compare the basicity of your compounds. Compare the basicity of you should give the reason what is the factor that influence. So next is your electron donating group. As I said, electron donating group increases the basicity because the electron donating group contribute to the electron density in your nitrogen. That's why they increase the base. Whereas in case of electron withdrawing group on the aromatic amine decreases the basicity because the electron will steal the electron density from your nitrogen and makes it difficult to react. Okay. Anything ortho on the amino group, no matter where there is an electron withdrawing or decreases the basicity. This is because of the ortho effect or the steric effect. So whenever there is a bulk, so whenever there is a substituent at the ortho position, because of the steric effect, they will reduce the basicity because they will not allow the proton. If you see, as you have seen in your tertiary carbons, tertiary nitrogens, though they have 3 alkyl groups, but still they are less basic than your secondary because of the bulk. They will prevent the solvation of your amino group. So it will not allow the entry of your hydrogen proton in hydrogen nucleus. So that's why it reduces the basicity. So this is known as ortho effect. This is because of the steric hindrance. They will prevent the interaction with your amino group. Whether it will be an ortho electron donating or withdrawing group, any substitution on the ortho position of your aniline reduces the basicity because of the steric effect or the ortho effect. Very important thing to be remembered. So any substitution at the ortho position, either it will be the electron donating or withdrawing group, decreases the basicity because of the ortho effect or basically the steric effect. That makes it less stable. These are some of the examples how the acidity and how the basicity of aniline depends upon the substitution. So whatever is written on the right and left in the red, they are more acidic, that's why they are less basic. So whatever compounds which are less basic, less acidic are more basic. Depending upon the substitution, you will come to know because of the electron withdrawing property, the basicity decreases, and with the electron donating property, the basicity increases. So depending upon the substitution, the acidity increases or decreases. So any group which donates electron to the ring increases the basicity, and which withdraws the electron from the ring, thus decreasing the electron density on the nitrogen, decreases the basicity of your corresponding amine. So this is the resonance structure, how the resonance effect plays a role. So nitrogen, so when the takes away the electron from the ring, so there is less electron in the ring. So that's why the nitrogen atom cannot get protonated. Same thing will exactly opposite when there is an electron, that will give the electron to the ring and it will increases the basicity of your corresponding aniline. Now there is one reason every time. There is a reason why amides are why amides, basicity of amides is much lower than that of amine. Why? Because I thought this is very important, that's why I introduced this thing. Why your amides are less basic than your amine? So if you see the bonds between the two, so in case of amide, the nitrogen is linked to your carbonyl group. First of all, carbon is an electron withdrawing group, so it will reduce the electron density on your nitrogen. Moreover, in case of amide, the lone pair of electrons in your nitrogen can come in conjugation with your carbonyl carbon and oxygen. So there will be a delocalization of electrons within the system. That's why your amides are less basic than that of your normal amines. Okay, please remember this point, very important to be remembered. If this thing is, these are all 2 marks questions which can be asked for you. So how the basicity affect by interaction with the functional group with the pi system. So if there is any pi system which is adjacent to your nitrogen, so they go into conjugation. So either there will be a pi acceptor, so nitrogen can act as an pi acceptor or a pi donor. So whenever the basicity of nitrogen decreases when they act as a pi donor. What is pi donor? When they are involved in pi bond formation. When the lone pair of electron involved in double bond formation, that is pi bond formation, that decreases the basicity. And whenever the nitrogen is involved in increasing the electron density in your nitrogen, they act as a pi acceptor and they are more basic. So there is something called as pi acceptor and pi donor character of an. So that I'll be explaining. So what did I say? Nitrogen is less basic when they act as a pi donor. So what do you mean by this pi donor? What do you mean by this pi donor? So the first factor is that an electron withdrawing group, as in case of amides, which we are explaining, in case of amide, the first factor is that an electron withdrawing oxygen group is present, which can remove some of the electron density from the nitrogen. That is the first character because of the electron withdrawing. However, there is a significant resonance from the resonance form where the nitrogen lone pair forms a new pi bond with the carbon. So that's known as pi donation. So what happens, if you can see on the right hand side, the nitrogen gives away its lone pair of electron to form a new pi bond, and the more electrons go move and the electrons, pi electrons in the double bond between carbon and oxygen moves towards your oxygen. Okay, now oxygen accepts the lone pair from the pi bond, forming a new lone pair in the oxygen. So they act, in this case oxygen acts as an lone pair or pi bond acceptor. So that's why whenever there is such a system, whenever the nitrogen is in conjugate such system, that is they are in conjugation with the pi acceptor, the basicity of your nitrogen decreases. This is because one of the most important thing is resonance effect. What plays an important role in this pi donor? The resonance effect. Okay, whenever the lone pair of electron is in conjugation with another pi system where it is an electron withdrawing group, they act as an pi donor, and this decreases the basicity of your corresponding amino group. That's why your amides are less basic than your corresponding. Now let's see for the when does the nitrogen acts as an pi acceptor. Now if you see this example of pyridine and NN dimethyl aminopyridine, this is an catalyst which is used for various chemical reaction to accelerate the reaction. So what do you see? The pKa of pyridine, plain pyridine, is 5.2, where that of when it is substituted by NN dimethyl amino group, then the pKa increases to 9.2. What is the reason for this? So let us go into this thing. If you see the structure of this, the lone pair of electron in NN dimethyl amine comes in conjugate, goes into the system, and when it goes into the system, it increases the electron whenever it goes into the system, it increases the electron density at the nitrogen which is present in the ring. This will increase the electron density in the nitrogen in the ring. You see, this is the most stable form because nitrogen being electronegative, it has got ability to accept electrons. So this will increase the electron density in the ring, make the most stable structure, and thus increase the resonance form. So such type of system nitrogens are known as pi acceptors because it accepts a lone pair of electron and forms a extra charge. So nitrogen being electronegative, it can assimilate the electrons among itself. That's why NN dimethyl, whenever a pyridine is substituted with NN or any electron donating group at the para position, it increases the electron density in the nitrogen and it becomes more basic than its corresponding unsubstituted compounds. In such cases, nitrogen acts as a pi acceptor and the basicity